Good afternoon. Welcome to News This Hour. I'm Colette Linden. We are waiting for the Sault Ste. Marie Police Services monthly board meeting to begin on a Zoom meeting. Until we see them in the corner ready to start their meeting live, we will throw to them. In the meantime, let's throw to some news. The province's Elementary Teachers Union is responding to reports the Ford government is looking at making virtual learning permanent. ETFO President Sam Hammond says the plan is an attack on public education and will divert funds to private companies. He says the plan will also negatively affect students by increasing inequities and lowering standards in schools. As early as this September, virtual learning could reportedly become a permanent fixture in Ontario schools. According to a document from the Ministry of Education, I do see that the Zoom meeting is ready to begin. We throw now live to the Police Services monthly board meeting.
He's coming in about a minute or so, hang in there for us until he comes, okay? You can hear me? Lincoln? Okay. They can hear me?
They should be able to hear you. We're not muted.
Yeah, good.
They are muted, so they can't respond to it.
Okay.
Let me do that now.
Okay.
Let's see.
Some lost at Rapture to go to pick up a man on Tuesday. Took them about 3 months of negotiating
To get it or get the price?
to get the right price and have them store and shrink wrap and he's coming down and picking up. I suppose he does.
Yeah.
For what I can see, he did very, very well.
Seen an advertisement on
Okay, I call the meeting to order. It is 1:07. As I mentioned, the mayor will be with us very shortly, so we'll get some of the preliminary out of the way here. Any conflict of interest declarations by anyone? See none, let's move on. Questions and information arising out of the minutes and not otherwise on the agenda? Any questions, information? The adoption of minutes,
I so move.
moved by Ian, seconded by Lisa. Resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting as presented be hereby approved. All in favor? Approved. Okay. Motion to accept the agenda of March 25th, 2021, moved by Rick, seconded by Lisa. All in favor? Approved. Resolved that the agenda of the regular meeting as presented be hereby approved. Number 7, communication reports. Chief, welcome, Mr. Mayor. We just started.
Thank you. Happy you started without me. Sorry, I was a bit caught up there. But anyway, I'm here now.
Just started. Okay. Chief, Special account ledgers,
So your,
communication reports.
your account ledger is pretty consistent. You can see the 1,500 there that we approved last week, or last meeting, 500 piece scholarships for a total of 15. And that's pretty straightforward. So we'll move to your next overtime report. Good news on the overtime front. If we look at a 4-year comparator, just between actually this year and last year, we were at 121,000 in February. This year we're at 48,000, so that's a $70,000 saving over the 2 months in 1 year in terms of overtime. If we look at the second running total, you can see that this time last year we were at 270,000. This year we're only at 157, so we're down by almost 120,000 in savings of overtime. So hopefully that trend continues.
Can I ask you a quick question, please?
Sure.
Is the February number due to the fact that people aren't taking vacations, Chief?
Well, there's a variety of functions. I think the next chart you're going to see staff shortages, I think, account for a lot of it, because we just don't have as many staff shortages as we had this time last year.
Okay.
By replacing people in the field. And it's a good question, Counselor, because probably next month you're going to see that improve even more as a result of changing our in-service training so that they're not pulled off the road while they're in training. And that was, I think it's just going to continue to be better for a little while. Then there's also the issue of vacation, Counselor, as well. That comes into it in the summer.
Okay.
But,
Thanks, Chief.
it's good if you look at the comparative year to year, we're clearly ahead of where we were last year, given February of 120,000, which is a good buffer for the rest of the year.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks so much.
Oh, you're welcome. So the next slide sort of speaks to a little bit of that. You can see in 3-year monthly staff shortage overtime costs in 2020, we had 13,800. This February, we only had 5,000. So there's a saving of 7. But I also want you to take a look at that big red line along the bottom, and you can see a significant difference. That's that big long line there is 2020, and you can see the significant difference we have. If you drew a median line through the middle of that, you'll see it's much different than 18 and 19. And so we want to keep that trend going where we manage our overtime more appropriately, and it's based on having the right people in the right place at the right time. So that's a good news story if you look at it from a 3 or 4 year trend analysis. Your next one's a short little line there, but basically if you look at January to February patrol, we had 20,000 in January, we're down to 5,000 overtime for this month. So those are good trends that hopefully continue through. The next line, our ledger shows that this time last year we were 84% spent. This year we're only 86% spent in our budget, which is good news. Again, all the financial indicators show we're definitely on track for meeting our targets and reducing. We go to the statistics for the monthly statistics reports for January. We're only going to do the 1 month because obviously we don't have the cumulative of having 1 month is 1 month comparator. So you can see for comparing January of 21 to January of 20, our calls for service have pretty well maintained itself at about 1% variance. If you look at our crimes of violence, sex assaults are down from 12 to 6, 50% reduction. Our assaults are down 11% from 64 to 57. The big news story here is our crimes of property when we compare the 2 months of January between 20 and 21. Break and enters are down 42% from 95 to 55 overall. Biggest has been in the business category from 15 down to 6 at 60%. Attempt B&Es from 7 to 3 is 57%. Theft of motor vehicles down 15. When we look at shoplifting overall, we're down from 140 to 109 are a minus 22%. Theft from vehicles, which has been in the news recently, has basically been split in half from 66 occurrences in 20 to 32 this January, 52% decline. We've also seen a reduction in motor vehicle collisions. Maybe last year's winter was a little more problematic at 193. We only had 88 this year, a variance of minus 54%. So
Can I just ask a quick question, Chief, please? Just going back to the crimes of violence, there is a rise in domestic disputes. We had 111 in 2020 and 122 in 2021. Do we know what the trend is as to why, or is it just a one-off, and what kind of is surrounding that stat right now?
So where are you seeing that? So
crimes of violence, yeah.
So our assault category went from 64 last year to 57 this year.
Domestic violence.
Domestic disputes, so 111 last year to 122 this year.
Well, there certainly is. I wouldn't say that variance would be, statistically significant, but the explanations for it, though, are significant given that across Canada, we've seen significant increases. It was on the morning news, actually, CBC. Actually, specifically in Quebec, where the Quebec Minister of Justice spoke to it. And she was telling people, like, you don't have to stay in the home if there's violence, COVID rules. And they specifically brought up the issue of the curfew.
Yes.
They mentioned that. We've been watching the domestic violence here, and although any increase is terrible and should be addressed, we haven't seen it, 10 over an entire year type thing isn't bad, or per month, but it's something we're going to keep a close eye on, and we'll certainly work with our victim services in our community to address it.
Great. Thanks, Chief.
But thanks for pointing it out. I didn't see it on my other crimes of violence sheet, so I apologize.
No problem.
Any other questions, comments? Go ahead. Good.
So we'll go to the next, which is 7 Golf, 7G, where we're looking at the provincial offense statistics. Yeah, there's the second one is the same report. So when we look at our provincial offense statistics here, we see for January and February, we see 31 permits and licenses to 24, slight decrease. Signal light issues 7 and 7 are consistent. Speeding is down a little from 47 to 39. Traffic signs doubled from 6 to 13, and miscellaneous from 42 to 65 in charges late. We'll pop to 7 Hotel. This is the report of public complaints against the police. Since our last board meeting, we've had 2 new complaints. You can see them there. OIRPD received a complaint from a female in relation to 2 of our officers. That's ongoing at this time. The second complaint that came from a male complainant in regards to our officers, OIRPD opted not to proceed. This time last year we had 9. This time this year we have 8. So we're relatively consistent in terms of the number of complaints coming in. 7 India is our use of force. So as you've noticed there, I had Sarah did a great job here, and Lisa putting together just a little summary for you so we can track the different types of use of force, as opposed to me going through all 6 or 7 or 10 of them. So you can see here in terms of use reports, in January we had 15 incidents. This month we've had 6. You can see Point Farms, we had a very dangerous January and down to 3 in February, which is wonderful news. The second one, less lethal options, you see in blue there. CEW, or conducted energy weapon displayed, from 5 down to 1. deployed from 7 to 4, empty hand techniques up from 2 to 5. So that's primarily a nice categorical way of sort of showing the trend analysis by month by the type of use of force used.
Questions?
On to 7 Juliet. That's our travel log. It's pretty slim, and you can see it in front of you. The second entry was for a OPC course that our member had to be brought back due to COVID concerns. On to number 8, board chair.
Okay, here we have a
Request for Easter seals.
So
this
this
is from Jane Martinuck.
Yeah, I'll help you.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
Jane Martinuck every year is a big supporter and volunteer, and she does a heck of a job with Easter seals. And historically, she's asked the board to provide $500 to this excellent initiative for helping children with physical disabilities in our community in the day-to-day lives. Wheelchairs and communicative devices are very expensive, so there'll be a telethon April 5th to 10th and 12th to 18th with Shaw Cable 10, and she's requesting once again that the board consider a $500 donation.
Now, we've gone through something with donations, and I think we would be looking at them individually. I can be corrected on that, but I know we did discuss that we would look at things separately. And if there's any questions or comments.
Just one addition, we did review this, and it does meet the board's policy for donations.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would move that we give the $500 to Easter seals. We're all part of the community, and this is one need that I think is extremely high.
Any
Well,
other questions or comments?
No, I'm supportive as well, John.
Yeah, I support that donation too. I know Jane well, and her son Ben has been a representative for Easter Seals, and they were part of the Thrive family as well, and definitely a good cause.
Okay, seeing.
I'm in favor, John.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's approved, and can I have a mover first, Ian?
Yep.
Seconder?
You can use, I'll second it.
Okay, Rick. All in favor? Approved. For $500 to the Easter Seals telethon. Thank you. Chief,
Okay, the next
Smart Cities?
Smart Cities Initiative, I understand PUC did a presentation already to City Council on livable cities. And basically, this is using our streetlights and our smart technology that the PUC has been very progressive in promoting in our city. And just wanted the board and the public to be aware that the police service can get in on this approach simply because it provides an excellent opportunity to address traffic concerns in our community. The lights can be given a Doppler radar sensor that will basically tell us what speed vehicles are in different parts of the community, which is very effective, very similar to the road signs that tell you your speed as you're coming up to it. We have those in the city. This will be simply on a light post that will tell us descriptive statistics about traffic flow in terms of frequency, average speed, median speed, and very helpful for the community when people, the council, through the board suggest, we have speeding on a particular street. We can start to take measurements of that. We can also use these cameras to determine, the effect of our enforcement and our media campaign in relation to reducing speed, because we can have a pre and post test design on that. And so we'll know exactly whether or not we've had an impact. So I see it as a very positive thing in terms of price. The total cost of the project was $10,000. Our portion of it was only $2,000. And it's a great use of technology, to be honest with you. And I applaud the city for going in that direction, and we can be a part of it to keep this community safe.
Very good. Any questions or comments?
None for me, John.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, that concludes the formal part of the meeting, unless I forgot something. I don't.
John, or Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I did have one question that didn't come up just sort of naturally through the chief's report, but I think it would be good in open session to just get an update on the status of the training that we were doing with Indigenous cultural awareness training, and just wanted to see if the chief could give us an update on where we are with that.
Thank you, Rick. Yes, we were very fortunate, a little bit of the history, we were very fortunate to strike a relationship with Algoma University in terms of providing shift training or Indigenous awareness, cultural sensitivity, and understanding of our Indigenous communities. And so we've been doing shift training since I've been here, probably 2.5 years. And we have a total of 80 of our members have actually went through it, and that's everything. That's everyone from senior command to non-frontline to civilian, and it's been very effective. I can personally say that the dedication of Algoma University and their presenters and their participants have had a real impact on the police service, and we are in the process of planning for additional shift training to get through our complement this May, and we'll continue that training through the year. In addition, we've been in touch and discussions with Acano, and we have a Cano training coming up on March 13th and 14th with approximately, April 13th and 14th with approximately 15 of our members are going to go through it, and this will be our first training, and it's going to be incredibly interesting to have that dialogue between experts in Acano and the African Canadian Association, Caribbean Association. So we're looking forward to that as well, Rick.
Thank you, Chief.
Ian?
There was one notation in the news in the last week or so regarding our cameras on both ends of the city, and raising concern that maybe there's somehow that an approachment on our freedoms. And I'm just hoping that we're not going to change our position from saying that the safety far outweighs the concerns of any individual or a small group. I think it's a great piece of technology, a great piece of advancement to and assisting in police. I just wondered if anybody else had seen it or heard of it. And hopefully we're not, at least at this point, we're not going to be reversing the decision to put the cameras east and north or east and west.
Any questions or comments along those lines? I think we spoke about that at the last meeting, so that's that will be going ahead as far as.
I hope so.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Haven't seen no more questions. The next meeting is April 29th. The media, please. The chief will be in touch after with Lincoln. So if we can sign off. Thank you for attending, and we're going to be taking you off now. Thank you.